Hey, welcome to the Summit Host Hangout podcast, where you'll learn how to plan, strategize, and launch your profitable online summit. No influencer status necessary. I'm your host, Krista from Summit in a Box, and we are in the middle of a group of episodes that are at the top of my mind as I'm in the middle of promoting my own virtual summit. So today in episode 92, we're going to chat about your summit's presentation pages. So we've talked before about different areas of your summit website, and while the presentation pages, the pages that actually house the presentation videos, probably seem simple, I want to break down some of my preferences about them and what I think they should include. In the next episode, we'll actually take it a step further with like a Q&A style episode all about presentation pages. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to my free masterclass covering my 3-part framework to triple your monthly revenue with a virtual summit while building your list for free. In this class, we cover the secret to creating a plan you can actually follow to make your summit happen, even if your business is already too busy, how to host a profitable event and land expert speakers without a huge audience of your own, and how to use the 3-part profitable summit system to triple your monthly revenue and the size of your email list. You can join that class at summithosthangout.com/class. So let's start off by talking about what a presentation page actually is. And this is, or I should say these are, the pages on your website or your summit's website that hold the summit presentation videos. And these are like the free version of the videos, not the version that's in your all access pass. That's actually separate. We'll talk about that later or in the next episode. But these should not just be links to the YouTube page or the page on Vimeo. These should be pages with the videos embedded on your summit's website. And there are a few goals that you want to keep in mind for this page. First, they need to display the presentation videos. They need to keep your attendees focused on that video and not be full of distractions. You want to feature your speaker, and you should upsell your all access pass on that page. So with that being said, should each presentation have its own page? Or should you have maybe all the day one videos on one page and things like that? That's something I actually get asked about a lot. What way do I do it? Does each presentation need its own page? Can I put them all on the same page? My answer is can you put them all on the same page? Of course you can. You can do whatever you want. I personally don't like to set things up that way. It is easier on your end to do things that way, but I don't like that experience as much for the attendees or for the speakers. And if you've listened to me for very long, you know that I believe that they are the ones that matter. You having to do a little extra work, I'm okay with that. Your speakers and attendees are the ones that really matter. So let's talk about why this isn't a great attendee experience when you have a whole bunch of presentations on one page. First, it is cluttered and distracting. You go to a page and you're just scrolling through all these different videos. Because of that, they aren't as likely to sit and focus on one video. They're way more likely to skip around and, get bored in this one and we'll scroll back up and go look at that one. They're not as likely to actually complete the video, which means they're less likely to watch until the end, get their action steps, get all the information they need, and get any extra resources the speaker had to offer. So not a great attendee experience overall. Let's move into why it isn't a great speaker experience. That's because now instead of them having one page that's featuring just them, they're just plastered on this page with a whole bunch of other speakers. You're not featuring them as much as you could. They're just being lumped right in with everyone else, not getting the attention they deserve. With that being said, I, of course, make separate pages for each of my presentations. This does not take a ton of time. When I'm setting up my summit website, I make a template for exactly what I want this page to look like, and I have placeholder information. Like at the top, it says presentation title, speaker name, put the video embed code here. I have placeholders. So for each speaker, we go in, I have my assistant do this. She duplicates that template page and just fills in the information for the speaker. I'm actually not convinced that that really takes much more time than putting them all on the same page. So that is why I like to have separate presentation pages. Next, I want to cover what should go on each of these pages, and then we're going to save the rest of the information I have on this for the Q&A style episode in episode 93. But let's talk through what should actually go on these presentation pages. Summit in a Box students, you guys have our template for this. You can log into Summit in a Box, go to the website and text section, you have our exact template for presentation pages, okay? But for everyone else, the first thing that should be on this page is the name of the session. The session title should be at the top of the page, and right under that, the name of the speaker. You can have just their first and last name, or you can have their name and their business name. Either way is totally fine. Under that is where I like to have the video. So name of the session, speaker name, then the video, and then you can optionally have a chat box. I run 2 different summits. For one of my summits, I have a chat box on the page, the other one I don't. And instead we have a button that links to a thread in the Facebook group just for that video. Totally up to you. When I do have a chat box on the page, I have it side by side with the video. So the video takes up maybe 60% of the width of the screen and the chat box is maybe about 40%. But I have those side by side so people can be watching and chatting at the same time. You do not have to have a chat box. I just like it for the extra engagement factor. Right under the video, you should have 1 or 2 next steps buttons, okay? The most important one is the speaker freebie. In the past, I have had a link for the speaker freebie and the speaker website, but that freebie is really the important one. So recently I've just started having that one. And then if you have anything else, it's up to you. Like I said, for the summit I'm actually launching right now, we chose not to have a chat box. So instead we have a second button that brings people right to a thread in our Facebook group for them to ask questions and engage on that presentation. If you only want to have one button, that's just the speaker's freebie, that's totally fine. Under that is another optional section of the speaker's headshot and bio. I can go either way on this. I have never actually put that on my presentation pages, but it is a nice way to feature them. I'm not really convinced anyone pays a whole lot of attention, but if you want to feature your speakers a little bit more, you can of course add that. And then at the bottom, I have a call to action to purchase the all access pass. So it's just a reminder, hey, you have access to this for 24 hours. If you want ongoing access and all of these other awesome things, get the all access pass while you still can. For the button for that, I like to use the speaker's affiliate link because I have had it happen a lot of times where the speaker's presentation is what convinces someone to buy, and I want them to get credit for that. It's just a nice little perk to offer them. They don't expect it. It's not something I promote, but they do appreciate it when they notice it. So that's an overview of what should be on your summit presentation pages. They're simple, but they still deserve thought and strategy and your attention. So keep these things in mind when you're going ahead and making these pages. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. For show notes and resources mentioned, head to summithosthangout.com/092. In the next episode, we'll be covering some presentation page FAQs, so be sure to tune in for that to dive a little bit deeper on this topic. Like with anything, planning and hosting an online summit is a whole lot more fun when you're surrounded by other people who get it. For a community of other summit hosts who can be alongside you to celebrate wins, share advice, and offer support, join us inside the free Summit Host Hangout Facebook group. This is the best Facebook group out there for summit hosts. I guarantee that. Head over to summithosthangout.com/community, and I can't wait to see you inside. Now go out and take action to plan, strategize, and launch your profitable online summit.